Monday. HM Revenue and Customs estimates that 1.1 million families are affected by reforms, which see higher earners lose the benefit. And HMRC says it sent letters to about 800,000 families, but has incomplete data on the rest. Well, under the changes, homes where one parent earns more than £50,000 a year will see the amount they receive reduced. And when earnings hit £60,000, child benefit will be withdrawn completely.
This is an extraordinary state of affairs, and let's remember, this government has sought to divide and rule our country. They have sought to make a distinction between people out of work and people in work. And what we know with so many of these changes that they're putting through, we know that the changes to tax credits and child benefit are going to affect, in the main, working families. 6 out of the 10 families affected will be working families. Many of the people watching this programme, that is their New Year present from this government, and it's atrocious.
Let's talk to our political correspondent, Sophie Ridge. And Sophie, I mean, the policy's been controversial when it was mooted. If it goes wrong in the implementation, or if there's a bit of a fuss about who knows what and whether it affects them or not, that could make it worse.
That's exactly right. I mean, putting aside the rights and wrongs of the matter of the policy itself, the implementation is looking like it's going to be increasingly complicated. And if we do have hundreds of thousands of people who haven't been written to by HMRC are relying on them picking up the changes that are happening through advertising, through the media and so on, then that could be really problematic, not least, of course, because the government is relying on many people to complete self-assessment forms saying exactly what they're entitled to, what they're not entitled to, so the government can then claw back child benefit, which has been paid already through the tax system. So could potentially be very difficult. And I think it's interesting, one of the outreach things that HMRC did today was to go on Twitter to hold a Q&A, where they really were bombarded actually by a lot of people who are quite confused. So Lucy Cook, for instance, where was my letter or any direct communication? Are you expecting us to be telepathic? I mean, I think that really does say it all. Some people feel quite angry, really, that they haven't had the communication that they would have expected. And certainly Sky News went out onto the streets of Cheshire to ask people exactly what they thought of the changes and whether or not they'd heard anything about them.
I don't like it, but I guess it's fair. Yeah. Because we're going to get stopped.
Well, in our case, it would not be that nice, or it will not be that nice, because, you know, I haven't got a job yet. So even if one of us earns a lot, it could be that the other one doesn't earn at all. So
it would be us, but I don't think we've received a letter, no. But I'm confused because I didn't think you could get child tax credits if you had someone in a higher tax bracket anyway.
I think it's sort of fair because I think most people are. Well, it's a benefit for all, isn't it? And I think, to be fair, people should probably be paying their own way a bit more.
And Sophie, on the politics of it all, we heard the Shadow Business Secretary a little bit earlier saying he has concerns, to say the least, about it all, and those concerns shared by some on the Conservative side as well.
Yeah, they certainly are, in a nutshell. Certainly Conservative MPs who I've been speaking to are worried about this. They say that it's really a tax on aspiration, so hitting the kind of people who hope to get on, do well, earn a decent wage, and now they're saying actually you're going to be penalised for it. One MP that I've been speaking to said it's the #1 issue in his constituency. People are really worried about it because obviously this is potentially quite a substantial sum of money that some people are losing. But the politics are quite complicated. I mean, I think it's interesting when you heard what those people were saying in Cheshire. Some of them felt that it was fair, that if you earned over a certain amount of money, then you shouldn't receive child benefit, that people shouldn't be paying child benefit for richer people. And I think that's the kind of attitude that George Osborne, the Chancellor, and the Prime Minister as well are quite aware of. They know that perhaps the most damaging thing for this government is the implication or the suggestion that they're balancing the books on the backs of the poorest. And that's why there's a squeeze on benefits for the poorer people, but also on those who are more wealthy.
Sophie, thanks a lot.